They say Piqué when God carried from back, he made a kickstone and he leg made a touch water. So that's exactly how I feel right now, because the fact that you can sit here and reach out and then your family will come to your aid is one of the greatest privilege you can have. So I have the pride, privilege, and honor to bring to my screen and to the microphone one great player that we all looked up to, fantastic guy, a never say die person. One of the words that we've always used here is against the odds. And this station was built on the principle of against the odds. And this man always wear that on his head. Is when you say he wears his heart in his sleeves, yes, that's the person I'm talking about. I'm talking about the leader of the Sodje gang, yeah, the other brother of Sam Sodje and Sodje. And I don't know who's older between him and Bright. Anyway, I'll find out today. I'm talking about Efetobore Sodje. You guys love to call him Sodje, but the name is Efetobore Sodje. I wish you all know the meaning of Efetobore Sodje. You would all know children that name. Well, I am still the Elegbetetvradio of Sports, the Attorney of Sports, Matthew S. Yogene, and it's an honor to have Efetobore Sodje with me all the way from the UK, and I'm here in Lagos, but we're connected thanks to technology. Bros, Mingo, and welcome to the chit chat.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I said, how are you? You okay?
I'm good.
You're looking good. You're looking good. Doing well for yourself.
Bros, I got I got. So, how is family? How's life away from playing football?
It's good. It's good, but you know when you play football for throughout your whole career, your whole life, it's very difficult to adapt. But you know, for like me, I've adapted very easily, very quite cool in doing it.
Okay, so one of the things that's common with people retiring is you see footballers retire and just 2, 3, or 4 years after they quit the game, they go from this size to this size. How have you managed to keep your shape? Because, I mean, looking at you, you could still sign maybe 2 seasons in the Chinese Super League. You could still play in the MLS. You could even still play 1 or 2 seasons in England. How have you managed to keep your shape?
Well, first and foremost, it's the genes from my mom and dad, the genes. We had very good genes. We were not really big bones, or we never had that kind of big fat in the family. But apart from that, you know, obviously doing your exercise, if you're going to commit yourself in playing football, you have to commit yourself and sacrifice a lot. But everybody's different. You know, everybody's different. For like me, from day one, I've never drank alcohol. I've never tasted alcohol, and I've never smoked. So that was the benefit I had again, because you know when you drink, people think when you drink it makes you okay and all that, but everybody has their own reasons why they drink. But I never tasted alcohol, I never drank alcohol, so that helped a lot.
Okay, so talking about alcohol and drinking, I also don't know how that tastes anyway. I wonder how people enjoy it, but I'm not here to judge people now.
No.
There's this thing about football and food. You know, most times, okay, when you read books about Arsene Wenger's era at Arsenal, they talk about how he came to England and he changed the food culture, the way they eat, the drinking habits and all that. How does food affect the life of a football player?
Well, when Arsene Wenger came to England, he changed the whole system, because obviously back in the days when England, they just eat fish and chips, they just eat junk food, right? But when he came back, he now decided to put them on a diet by, you know, giving them certain types of food that they have to eat before a match, or even during the week. But for like me, I was never a big fan of that, because I grew up, I was born in London, but I literally grew up in Nigeria. So I was used to African food. So for me to say I want to change my system to come into England and change, I never did that. So I was always used to my normal Nigerian African food, the gari, eba, you name it. I was still eating that till I retired.
Okay, so you started at Stevenage Borough. You went to Macclesfield Town, and then Luton Town, Colchester United, Crewe Alexandra, which is where we really saw a lot of your play. Huddersfield Town as well, Yeovil, Southend, Gillingham, Bury, Barrow, and then you went back in 2013, 2015 to Macclesfield. Now, there's something I want to know. People talk about coaches these days. The way people talk about football these days is, oh, you went to a team, I didn't play because the coach didn't like me. Now, I'm a worry boy. Back in the day when we played football, it didn't matter whether coach liked you or not. It's a privilege to play football in the first place. So what's with all this? Oh, the coach didn't like me. That's why I didn't play. Even when I was playing, my mind was not there. Was that ever a problem for you?
No, it was never a problem. Because what I always loved was because I always thanked my mom and dad that for us coming back to Nigeria to know where we were born, where we were originally from. Yeah. So growing up you have to remember when you, as you say, you're a worry boy. Growing up in Nigeria, growing up not just in Nigeria, worry as itself.
Yeah.
Right. You don't play with your age group. You play with people that are older than you.
True.
Right. So if you have that, when you and that time in Nigeria, when you play, if you as I saw, you sabi play ball, yes, or I can't play. If you play and you play well, that is it. You keep on playing. Right. So the mentality that we have in Nigeria it helped a lot. The mentality. So it's like, I'm better than you. I don't care what you think. I'm better than you. So I use that mentality of coming here to say, oh, I know my strength. My strength, I know that area battle, I'll jump, I'll always beat you in the air. When it comes to speed, I'll always beat you. I'm quicker than you, right? Then when it comes to tackling, I'm stronger than you. So I had those three things there. So for me, I didn't care about anybody else. So if you say you're a striker, hey, fine. If you say you're quick, I'm quicker than you. If you say you're big in the air, I'm better than you. So I had that mentality where growing up from Warri to say, nobody's better than me. And that's what I used when I came to England.
Okay, so one other thing that amazes me, and I think I threw this question to Akbo when we were together in Globestar. I mean, you guys were a representation of what I call Ajebota. And bros, don't deny this, please. I don't even want to have that conversation.
Go on.
You guys were a representation. One, even in the Warri that we all lived in. I'm a proper Warri boy. I wouldn't call you a proper Warri boy. You know why? Bros, you stay Airport Road. You be Ajay. But how did you all manage to play football? I mean, I lived in the ghetto, ERA, generator, that. You lived, like, you be UK born, grow up with comfortable parents. Why did you all choose football? You, Sam, Akmo, everybody. Even Onome.
No, but back in the days, my dad always said he used to play when he was old, back in Nigeria those days. So obviously, that's why I said it was from the genes. So obviously, it will come it's through the blood. So that's how we started. But it's so funny when people always say, Ajay, but right? When we're on the pitch in Warri, when I was at college, when I was over primary school, anywhere, when I tackle them, they don't say Ajay, but they will complain to say I hit them hard. Abi? Yeah. So when I put a reputation when I was in Warri. They say, okay, anyone you call, when I say Ajay boy, you not be Ajay boy. When you play against me, which when you're growing up, you know how people they didn't want to play against me.
No, but you were very tough. You were very tough.
So if they say Ajay boy, that's their problem. Come on the pitch, and I'll give you Ajay boy hitting. Then it's better.
Yeah. And then that's exactly, because every time I look at Sam was a split image of you, the way you play, more like you wanted to be like you. Akbar was different. I used to call Akbar Patrick Clivett because it was soft, it was easygoing. Yeah, Sam was a daredevil defender. So all of a sudden we saw you wearing this do-rag, or do I call it bandana, against all odds. Yeah. What inspired that? Some people said it's mommy that told you to wear it. Some people said you just choose it. What's the story?
No. To be fair, it was so funny because back in when I started in Warri, right? There's someone little, right? We used to play. I don't know if you will know it. Anywhere Road.
Yes, I do.
Then you had the cemetery. You know the cemetery seminary.
Yeah.
So that's where we had a club called Firestone.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, Firestone used to train there. So we were the feeder clubs for Firestone. So we always played there. Then we had a coach called Peter Onolom, right? They call him man to watch of Fabio, right? So he was young. He was a good defender. So my middle name, my English name is Peter. So in Nigeria, people used to call me Pirot, right? Yeah. So when I went to go and watch Firestone, I was seeing Peter play. He was a center defender, and I just said to myself, I said, okay, I want to be like him. And from that was 1981. So from there, I started following him around, going everywhere he went to. He played for NNPC, played for NPA, played for Lobby Stars, Calabar Rovers, but Sharks of High Court. But what I did, I followed him. He was my mentor. So me growing up, that's how it was so good for me in Warri there. Then now coming to the bandana was that playing in Nigeria, then I now came to England to come and say, okay, I want to try it out in England. But my mom, you know, as we Nigerian kids, when your parents say something to you, you cannot challenge them.
True.
You know, you can't challenge them. So my mom said to me, oh, Efe, when you go, you have to cover your head. Blah, blah, blah. I didn't even say why. I didn't challenge her, nothing. So it was an honor for my mom. I wore it. And what happened, because I was coming to England, my English name was Peter. So after I went to trials with Luton and Wimbledon, my dad said to me, say, Efe, answer your Yoruba name.
Okay.
Okay. So at that time, when I was training, they all knew me as Peter in the English club. Then after a week, I now came back to the change room to say, from now on, this is my real name, Efetobore. So the players were very, it was difficult for them to pronounce. But what I did, I wrote it on the board, spelled it out for them. Then I now shortened it to say, you can call me Efe. But what they did now, they started thinking, okay, it would sound funny. So that's why they now started calling me Sodje.
Yeah.
So that's how everything started.
Wow. So what about the inscription that you had on it, against all odds?
Against all odds. You know how you know one thing, if you grow up in Warri boys never give up.
True.
Okay? That is one thing, that is one thing that I'm always proud of, to say, yes. Well, if they say, you know, they say Warri boy, they say, oh, you people are bush. Let them call us bush. It's not our business. We're bushmen, no problem. But we never, ever give up. So what happened with the against all odds was that when I came to England, I was playing for, I first of all played with Luton, then I went to Wimbledon, but it didn't work out. But I said, I'm not giving up. So I now had to go down to a conference side to go for Stevenage.
Yeah. So
when I was playing for Stevenage, you people, all the press people, reporters, everybody, they always try to praise you, then bring you down. True. So when I was playing in England, they would say, oh my God, what a good player he is that. But can he be good, or can he get better if he goes higher to the next league? So they always challenged me, right? So now, and I said, okay, against all odds, the more you put me down, the more I'm coming up.
Oh, okay, now I get it. Okay, so there's another thing that happened at Stevenage. In your second season at Stevenage, you guys gained promotion, but yes, you were not allowed, the team was not allowed to play in the other league.
In the league, yeah.
Yeah, but then you stayed with them. What informed that decision, and why did you stay? Because you were one of the best players of the team that season. What happened? Why did they say you cannot gain promotion, and why did you stay with the team?
Okay, at first, the reason why we won the league that season, in the conference, we won the league. Go, and back in those days, it was the old Division 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so we couldn't go up because the ground was not, it didn't have the capacity, and there were certain things that they wanted to go into that league that you had to put in place. So they gave the club, the chairman, enough time to put those things in place. So if we do get promotion, then we'll have a problem. But the chairman never did it.
Okay.
So he didn't do it. So that's why we could not go up. And the second question is that why did I stay was because obviously the man that took the manager was Paul Fairclough. He now pleaded to say, listen, he's going to keep the same team that, you know, for the next season that he knows that we will definitely go up if he adds other people. And literally we did keep the same team because we had a striker called Barry Hells. Barry Hells was there, and so that second season we now decided to say, okay, you know what, we're going to fight to make sure we go up. And that's what we did. Okay.
Sometimes when you look through your career, from getting mentorship from Pirot, the coach, the guy in Warri, to all the coaches you played under, what's the coach that you say made the greatest impact in your career?
I would say there were about three coaches, right? Apart from Coach Peter, which is in Nigeria now, right? Yeah. I always give thanks to a guy called Sammy McAvoy. He was the one that brought me to the Football League. He was ex-Man United player. He was the manager for Macclesfield because he believed in me, right? Because I played against him, and he now thought, okay, he knew that with me, if that's why he brought me to Macclesfield. He knew that with me they will get promotion. So that's why he now decided that's one of them. Then obviously the manager for Stevenage, which is Paul Fairclough, that, you know, gave me the opportunity. But then the main person that throughout my whole career that really got me, that really knew me personally, right, that allowed me to do what I wanted to do. Funny enough, it was later in my career, which is his name is Alan Neil. He's now the assistant manager for Sheffield United.
Okay.
All right. So even though I was playing, and I played for him for 5 years when I was at Bury, so it was towards the end of my career, but he was the main person that allowed me to extend my playing career. Because I stopped playing football at the age of 44. You know, so I had good 4 or 5 years playing for him. And he understood what I could do. So it was like, Efe, you know what, I can't really coach you that much, but if you want to play, do what you like, enjoy your game. And that's how it was.
Wow, that's so nice. Okay, so let's talk about the national team. The time you came into the Super Eagles squad in 1989, if I'm not, 1999. 1999. This was a time where the so-called born in England players were struggling to make the national team. It was difficult for John Fashanu to make the national team. He came, he got angry and left. It was difficult for Chris Armstrong, John Salako, Ruben Agbola, you know, all the born in England players. And you were one of them, even though you were Warri boy, but you were also classified as the born in England. How were you able to come in? And then in 99, we actually had fantastic defenders. It's not as if the national team was lacking in defenders. How did you come in again and then you make that team? Could it be the against all odds mentality again? How did it happen? What's the story on that?
And you know what? You just hit it on the head. It was the mentality of I don't care what you people say. I am a Warri boy, right? Nigerian football is Nigerian football, you know? So the only difference is that, okay, the difference was that you're stepping up and stepping up. But I was never phased about it by thinking, oh my God, I won't be able to play. It's international. No. I will play. I'm a defender. There's two things you're going to do. It's either you go past me or you don't go past me. So for me, I was always having that belief to say, I know that I'm good, right? So give me the opportunity. So when I got the call up, I made sure that I grabbed it properly without anybody taking it off me. And as you said, that was when Nigeria was Nigeria. They had good defenders, right? They had good players. They had individual players and they had the team players as well. So it was a privilege for me playing in that national side at that period.
Okay, so this is where we will need you, because we've been talking surface. The national team in 2000, though we didn't win the Nations Cup, but that was one time where the whole Nigeria cried alongside Sondolise. Please, share your own inside story. First, these days we hear players saying, oh, I want to play for Nigeria, but they didn't come for me, so I didn't go. People like Saka, people like Akpoguma in Germany, and the rest of them. How did you get the league? Who called you? Who reached out to you? Because you were not even in the top league, but who reached out to you? How did they know how to call you? It wasn't the era of DSTV that, oh, we're seeing your game every day. How did the whole thing work out that you came to the national team? And then how were you received, the reception? Because, I mean, I've spoken to someone like Djukudi, who said, we all know Djukudi is a fantastic player, but said it never felt like it was at home in the national team. How was it for you?
At first, I was playing in the championship. That's what you guys have to remember. Championship is a big league in England. There's Premiership and the Championship. Yeah. So I was in the Championship playing, right? And I was making a name for myself already in this country, right? So I just got the call up out of the blue, and I know Buffy Joe, Stephen Ketch, Buffy Joe, Stephen Ketch, rest in peace, Stephen Ketchy, rest in peace, Shaibu. They were the coaches then. So I got the call up. So literally, I got the call up because of what I was doing in this. There was nothing like, so you have a godfather or nothing like that. No, they called me up on the merit because I was making a good name for myself in England anyway, as a defender. So that's how I got my call up. And going to the camp for that 2000 of the Nations Cup, right? There was a massive problem before then with the national side and the NFF that time. So there was a big issue. But obviously, Nigeria was hosting the Africa Cup of Nations with Ghana.
Yeah.
So hosting it, we all called up into camp, into Malaga. We were in Malaga, in Spain, for the camp. And I have to be honest with you, I was welcomed very well. But before then, I was already friends with Muchu Odekoju, right? I was friends with Muchu. I was living 20 minutes away from Kanu, Wankwo, Kanu. So where I was living, he was just in London because he was playing for Arsenal at that point.
Yeah.
Right? So I already knew Kanu from there anyway. So for me, they were just close friends anyway. And then obviously Victor Ikpeba, all right? Obviously he's our boy as well, so I knew him, right? So that was it. But they didn't have the influence, but I already knew those guys already. So when I came to the camp, it was also all right. And to be fair, I won't lie to you, I was welcomed very well because Ulisse was unbelievable. He was a captain and he welcomed me very well. So everybody was just normal. So it's like, how are you? Welcome to the camp. And that was it. So I didn't really have any issue about anybody attacking, any big problems. I knew about Djukudi because I knew Djukudi because obviously, Warrior Boy and everything, like when he played for Concord and everything. But everybody had different experiences. I can remember, Ade Akibai, right? Yeah. Ade Akibai, he was playing for the striker. He came to camp, and after 2 days, he got fed up and he was annoyed and he left. So everybody had a different experience, but for me, my experience was good.
All right, so let's go to the World Cup. We played the Nations Cup, picked up a silver medal. It was fantastic. And then somehow 2002 was a different story. What happened in Mali? What happened in Mali? Because nobody seems to be saying what happened in Mali before we now went to the World Cup itself. What happened in Mali?
Funny enough, I didn't go to Mali.
I know you didn't go, but you made the team to the World Cup, so you heard stories. What happened? What did you hear?
No. The only thing that I got to hear was that they're saying the team split into two. So there was a big argument between, as they say, they call it a clique. There was a big argument. That's all I got to find out. But for me, I wasn't bothered about that because at the end of the day, when you play for your country, no matter what tribe or whatever you are, you're playing for one country. So you all have to come as one. So it was a big bad thing in Mali. Obviously, they sent Chief Elegbetetvradio to go to Mali. I think they sent him and 4 other officials to go and oversee what's going on at that point, right? And late Shaibu was still the manager. He was still the manager. Nothing. They didn't sack him then. But when the issue happened, I know for a fact that the officials that went to the Chief Elegbetetvradio, they were on their way back to Nigeria to come and report to see what's going on. So on the way returning, coming back, they now phoned him to stay in Mali, that he's taking over. That's how he stayed. That's how he stayed. They refused for him to come back, so he stayed. And that's all I got to know about it, and that was it. I don't really know much details, but I knew there was a click between the players. Yeah.
Okay, so you went to the 2000 Nations Cup. You won silver. You did make Mali 2002, and then out of the blues again, you made it to the World Cup that year. What happened?
I played about 2 qualifying matches. Then we played defending matches for build up to the World Cup. And obviously, getting the call up to Nigeria was for the World Cup for 2002 was unbelievable, because I know Elegbetetvradio he opened the camp. He said the camp is open because there was a big issue in Mali. Some players refused to come and say they're not going to play. Some said they will play. So they pushed him to now say, okay, the camp is open. And that's what he did. The camp was open. I got my invite. And that was the story.
So we went to the World Cup proper. We played against Sweden, Argentina, and England. Now, first off, with all the crisis we had going to that World Cup, those of us in Nigeria, it was the first time I know that Nigerians, forget, let them just go and come back. But then, because there were rookie players, there was Yobo, there was Vincent Yama, Ifeanyi Daisy, if I'm correct now, we're looking at this team from this end. Yes, because a worry boy is there, I'm happy. But I'm like, we went to 94, went to 98. We didn't go to 2006. Went to 94, 98, and then 2002. And, this one was for us. For me, it was like, okay, we're supposed to be coming of age, but after Mali, there was no hope. But you guys didn't get past the group stage, but you were not disgraced like we were disgraced in 98. How was Elegbetetvradio able to even inspire you guys to play the game? I was able to convince you guys that, you know what, you guys are rookies, you guys are young players, but put your head, in the game.
What you have to remember was that the young team coming through, everybody, they didn't give any hope to anybody, all right? But what you still have to remember was that we were in the group of death.
I know.
So, all right, it was a group of death. So anybody could have won that game and could have qualified. And if you notice about all these scores, the scores were only 1 goal difference from everybody that played. It was just only 1 point difference. So you have to remember, we were knocked out with Argentina. And Argentina was one of the groups that they thought that will get to the finals. Because you had people like Crespo, Batistuta, Ayala, So yeah. they had big time players there. So what it was that we went there to say, you know what, it's football. Elegbetetvradio was there with I think big coach Stephen Keshi, yeah. But all he just said to us was, listen, he said, enjoy. He said, players can only play once in the World Cup. You'll be lucky to play 2. So he said, take the opportunity and do as much as you can. Enjoy it. He said, there's nothing to be afraid of. And when you're young, you're not going to be afraid of anybody, right? You're not going to be afraid of anybody. And yes, as you said earlier on, we weren't disgraced. It was just that it was a group of death. Anybody could have come out of that group. Anybody.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. So now let's go off. You had a good career. For some people, even playing in the very top league, they couldn't even represent their country for 1 game. You had a fantastic opportunity to play for the Nations, played at the Nations Cup, which we almost won. If not for Ekpeba's hand to the head, we would have maybe be talking about gold medal. That's a story for another day. Then you retired, and then you're still keeping fit, you're still doing that. And then you sat back, you saw your brother Sam playing for the same national team you played for. How did it make you guys? What was the conversation on the dining table when you guys come together as family? What's the conversation always like when you centered around football?
What you have to remember is that I'm very proud of Akbar and Sam, because the reason why is that we all live in Warri, right? And you could see everywhere I went for football in Nigeria, they followed me.
Yeah.
Right? They always followed me. Even when we had to go, when we played for DSC, right? Back in those days, you have to remember, before the game starts 4 o'clock. Warri Stadium will be filled up by 2 o'clock.
By 2, yeah.
Right? By 2, it'll be filled up. Then for them to get into this, so what I had to do, I will now have to get them to come and meet me in DSC. They will get in the bus with me, right? On the coach. But they will when I tell them to come, they will not come by themselves. They will come with 3 or 4 of their friends. So it's all together, there will be 6 of them, right?
We all do that. I'm guilty of that too.
Okay.
I did that to Blessing Kako a lot, so I'm guilty.
Okay. Yes, sir, because all of you came, because me and Blessing was at DSC together.
Yeah, I know.
Right? So you guys will jump on inside the bus. They will always come to the game. That's how it was. So and they always grew up with me. Even when the Nations Cup, 2000, they literally moved from Warri to come and stay with me in a hotel in Lagos throughout the whole time. So seeing them growing up, they will grow around the national side anyway. And so when they came to
I was at Sheraton. Yeah. I came with Akbar to Sheraton to meet you guys.
That's it. So they really literally grew up in a mix. So there was no way they were not going to make it. They were always going to make it. So me seeing them play, right? It was like, yeah, So it was like I was like, yeah. I became a big fan of both of them, because it's like I'm a senior brother, but I'm a fan, right? Because that was it. Because going to watch them and see them play and everything, I was like, I knew they were going to be good. So for me, I was so proud with them. Then when Sam went to the national side and everything like that, I was like, okay, it's not easy to people in the family, that are football fans. Then you get next minute they're in the national side again, which was great. It was wonderful.
Okay, so your generation passed. Bright, between you and Bright, who's older?
Oh, Bright's older than me by far.
Okay, so Bright chose to play rugby.
Yeah.
Where did rugby come into this family? We'll be Robo people. Where is rugby in this whole? Where did it come from?
No, the reason why was because England, right? They always said they founded football, but when Bright was in England, he went to a boarding school.
Okay.
And the boarding school, they were never football fans. They were rugby people. So that's how Bright got into rugby, right? And when Bright was playing rugby, he was in the top. When you talk about the top 10 players, he was in the top 5 playing back in his days in rugby in the whole of England, So, but obviously Bright can play. It can play, but when you can play a little bit, but you get mouth to say, you sabi play. That's how Bright is. Bright will always say he's better than everybody. He will use his power. I think his rugby to fight somebody on the pitch. That's how it was.
Okay, then you guys, as you guys were fading out, were going to the end of the clock. Onome Sodje showed up, and just when we thought, okay, Onome is the last of the Mohicans. I mean, after this one, there's not going to be anyone again. Wow. 6 weeks ago, I saw what Ty is doing. Man City. It's like, okay, a new dynasty is starting again. There's Gogo, there is Onome, there is Ty. What's up? Are you going to have a forever generation of footballers?
there's one thing I'll let you know. Soldiers will never fade. Okay? We can never fade away. That's one thing I will always say. No, as I said earlier on, it's always in the genes, right? But ties. You have to. There's so many kids, so many boys in the family, grandchildren, and there are a lot of about what 12, 13 grandchildren, 13 grandkids, grandsons in the family, right? So one must have to. So somebody has to take over. Like Onome, when Onome started, Onome was in Warri too. He was playing in Warri. Onome's father. We all talk about.
I coached Onome.
Okay, Onome's father, which is the senior son, which is my senior brother, right? Is the first son of my dad, right? Back in his days, he was a good player.
Yes,
right? Okay, he was a very, very good player. So he's a barrister. So that was it. So it's all in the genes. So when Onome came, okay, oh yeah, you're coming to London. He starts again, you know. Then obviously Bright has his son. We're doing the same thing. Even my own boy, my own son, right? He's still playing now, right? He's only 7, right? But his name is Luca, but we call his name is Monefe. Right, but we know him as mainly Luca. But he's 7 years old, so he's going to start. So that's why I said the soldiers cannot fade. They will never fade away.
Okay, so another thing that is very synonymous with your family, and this comes with mom and dad, is normally people talk about footballers and footballers are illiterate, footballers are dropout, but then the soldiers played football to the very highest level, and then you still have doctors, lawyers, educationists, everybody have a degree in your family. Sam got out of football. I want to go get a degree. How are you guys able to balance going to school and playing football and getting it all well?
One thing with my mom and my dad, they gave us a lot of opportunities, right? But one thing, especially my dad, he said to us, he said, listen, whatever guys you want to turn out to be when you're big, I have no problem. I will support you guys. Say, but if you don't go to school, if you don't go and get your degrees or whatever, you're not going to play football. You're not going to do what you want to do, your hobby. So he made sure that we all had to go for our education. And every single person in our family had to go to boarding school.
Yeah, I know.
We all had to go to boarding school. Right? So no matter how it was, they made us to say, listen, this is how life is. So obviously, if you go to boarding school back in those days in Nigeria, then you're going to be tough, you know? So I first of all went to Ovu Grammar School, then left Ovu Grammar School to Government College Ughelli. Right? So everybody, no matter how it was, you have to go to school, boarding school. Then my dad said, when you finish your degree and everything, go and do what you want to do. And that was my dad. He said he had done his job. So we had to, no matter how it was. Yeah.
That was nice anyway. So yes. There is also this talk about the evolution of the game. Okay, so we're having this conversation that football has gone soft. It's no longer what it used to be. There's too much, every scene, there's a stop check for VAR. You can just put your hand on someone. Do you think a player like you would have survived in this VAR generation? Because you're a hard man.
No, 100% no. I'll be getting red card like every week. Because the football has changed for being good, but at the same time being bad. Because there's no enjoyment anymore. You can't enjoy football. Because I'll give you an example. When you play and you score, you could take your shirt off and celebrate, right? And jump into the crowd and everything like that. Yay! But now, then you cannot. They banned it from taking your shirt off. They banned it for you celebrating with your fans, right? They were killing the football little by little. Then all of a sudden, you bring VAR. VAR has killed football because you can't celebrate anymore. You cannot celebrate. You know, so you score a goal and you have to stand there first and wait and wait and wait. Then a goal. By that time, the spirit and that buzz has left your body to go and celebrate. So football is really it's boring now. That's why I would say it's boring. But then when you look at the second side about you know, all the passing and passing, yeah, it's a different level. You touch people. Like me, I always say, people always say to me, say, oh, if you're playing now, they will be sending you off. Yeah, because the kind of football we used to play then was skillful then, but it was still hard. But now it's like, don't touch. But football should be a contact sport. But now it's like, you can't touch anybody, which is difficult.
All right. Looking at your career, what would you say are the highs and the lows of your career?
Funny enough, I played for 10, 11 clubs. Okay. Yeah. And I got 7 promotions. Okay. I got 7 promotions. I played 655 games, right? Which is, right? And I scored 40 goals as a defender.
44, actually.
Right? 44, okay. 44 goals, but I know I played 650 something games.
663 games, 44 goals.
Okay, so, all right. So it's hard. I loved every moment, every single moment. I loved it. If I was not, and I can tell you something now, I could have played up to 800, but I was always getting red cards and suspended. So that's why it went down. You know? So I think I got to 100 and something yellow cards and 20 red cards. But wow. Then, but you see the difference, because but that was then. But when you talk about the highlight of my football, right, I would say every moment I was playing was my highlight, because you're only good as your last game. You're only good as your last game, right? So I always made sure that anytime I play, I'll put 100% in. If I get sent off, I'm putting 100% in, because I know if I'm getting sent off, the person I'm going through is going off himself, right? So every single game I was playing, I made sure that I enjoyed it very well. Every single game.
And you played 12 games for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You scored 1 goal and you were crazy with the celebration. Can you recount that moment again when you scored for Nigeria?
Oh, listen. When you're growing up in Nigeria, growing up in Warri, the first thing when you ask any small picking for Warri, say, what do you want to? The first thing, because I say, I beg, I want to play for Nigeria. Abi? Yes. That is it. I go play for Super Eagles. I go play for Super Eagles. That's everybody's dream in Warri. You know? So when you go and watch matches, you see the celebration, everything like that. Now I'm playing for the national side. I was so happy when I got my call up. Yeah. Then now, I'm now in the squad to go to the World Cup. So it's like, okay, we're playing the friendly matches, everything like that. And I always said to myself, I said, area battle, I will challenge anybody. Whether it's to defend my goal or to attack, I will always challenge people. So it was a great game. It was against Republic of Ireland. It was a friendly match. Republic of Ireland, went on a record where in that ground, they've not lost a game for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? They were going there. So we had to play Ireland. We have a lot of Nigerians in Ireland. So when we came out on the stadium, right? Normally you have what is it called? You have fans, the Nigerian fans in different section. But this one, everybody was mixed. The Nigerian fans were mixed up with the Irish people, because it was a great atmosphere. Then we scored. Gino Sagawa scored his first goal. Then they equalized. Then it was the second. It was the second half on the second minute. I remember everything very well, right? Roy Keane, the former Man United player, he was the one that was marking me. Pius Ikeja, he was the one that took the corner kick. And for me, I was thinking, okay, Roy Keane is marking me. I said, today I will show you Pepe. Today, I will show you Pepe. So when they took the corner kick, before he knew what happened, the ball went shum. And I want one thing with me, if my head touched the ball well, and no keeper would save it. So it just went straight through. And the celebration, because a lot of people were thinking that I'm a Yoruba boy.
Yeah.
So what I did, so that's why when I celebrated, I was doing the Igbo dance.
Because I was wondering why you did that.
Yeah. Because a lot of people were saying, oh, he's Yoruba. Because what happened was that Chief Onibide was the coach, okay? And Chief Onibide is from Abeokuta.
Yeah.
And right, so when Chief picked me for the national side, when he picked me to come and play, there was a time he did an interview. They interviewed Chief Onibide, and there was, I don't know the journalist, and it was a silly. To be fair, I will never insult journalists, but it was silly of him because he questioned Onibide, and the question he questioned Onibide was, Coach, you're a Yoruba man. Why are you picking an Igbo boy?
Oh.
Okay. So Onibide was so annoyed. And Onibide said, he must be crazy to ask that kind of question. He said, I'm a coach for Nigeria. So Nigeria is meant for Nigerians, not by tribe. You understand? So all those things came into place. So that's why, and so at the same time, people were thinking I was Yoruba as well. Some people even thought I was Hausa, right? But so what I thought I wanted to do was to say, okay, I'm proud to be a Nigerian. I'm proud to play for my national side, but let me let people know that I'm proud to let them know I'll be a boy.
Which is nice.
From Echop East, Kokori, you understand? Kokori Inland. Then my mother's from Okwawa Waterside. So I thought, you know what? Just to seal it off, let them see where I am. And that's what I did.
All right. Thank you very much, Uncle Ife, for your time on the show. But I want to ask you this. What do you miss the most about football now that you're retired?
Oh, really? Well, I still miss it now because obviously I'm a scout. I scout for Sheffield United, right? I go scouting and if well, what I really miss is when I'm on the pitch, when I can hit somebody hard or hit somebody proper with the ball. that's what I miss. It's still in my blood.
And then who's the craziest manager you ever worked with? Like the person that heats up the dressing room. Craziest manager you ever worked with?
Whoa. There were so many. I won't lie to you, there were so many. Because all the people I played for, out of the 10 managers I played for, there were only 2 that I never got on with. Only 2. The rest, I had a great time with every single manager, everyone. And that's why I enjoyed playing for them. And that's why I gave my full 100%.
Okay. If you're going to give advice, now you are a scout, if you're going to give advice to a young player that is coming, because we do a lot of work in grassroots in Nigeria, and I was telling Sam the other day that I'm going to invite you to come over and watch the Surulere League in Lagos, watch some grassroots and see if you can help us invest a few talent. If you're going to advise young players that are coming up today in this age of soft football, social media football, and the rest, what would be the advice you would give?
For the young players coming out from the grassroots football now, even the ones that are playing under 17, 18, or that, what I will always say to them, right, is you can dream high. But at the same time, you have to remember education first, right? Because now the way football is now is more about education. Because all the academies right now in this country, right? You don't go to school, you can't read, they're not taking you. You can have all the talent you have, they won't take you. Dream high, education, and one thing I always say to them, don't chase the money. Money will chase you, right? Because if you chase the money will go quick. And people always say, what do you mean by that? Don't chase the money. You have to remember, if you are good and you are talented, they will come after you. they will always come after you, right? And if they're coming after you, that means the money is coming after you. But if you decide to think about, oh, this guy has this car, I want to go and buy that, I want to do that, your football will die, and you're thinking about that, before you know what's happening, it's dead. So I always say to young people, what would you prefer? Play or make money as much as what? It's your passion, right? Yes, everybody will make money, but the passion, show the passion. And I can guarantee you, the more you show the passion, your money will come easy because you're a good talent. There's a talent in you.
Wow, thank you so much. It's been almost an hour and it seems like we're just starting, but I have to say this, that this should be the first of many more of this type of conversation that we would have on Elegbete TV radio and our TV channel. When we post this, I'll send the link to you so maybe you can replay it and share it amongst the family members and the rest of them.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
No problem.
The show. God bless you. My regards to the entire family. For those who don't know, the Sodje family is a very big family. I've been to that house before. I've gone there to eat ogo soup. I've been in that family for, like, let's say since
20 years,
almost about 20 something years now.
About
4 years now. I've been in and around the Sodjes, and they've been very, very good to me. Some will always look out for me. Some will always call me, "You're top man, you're doing well, this is happening." And he called me and like, "Oh, yesterday," he said, "Do you know that today is bro's birthday?" I said, "Yes, I do, but I have his number." He said, "Can you call him and just give him a birthday shout out?" I said, "I will, but he might not take my call, so I have to talk to him later." And then you just told me, "Okay, let's do it tomorrow." And I was so ecstatic. Thank you so much. And from all of us here, happy belated birthday to you. We love you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.